Hey, how you doing? This is Dr. Dwain Woode, and we are back for a little pop-up here. Um, Hopefully you guys are doing well today. It is Wednesday, and we are 24 hours into this week's fast. Actually, a couple minutes past 24 hours into this week's fast. And just to wanted to come on and see how you're doing. If you are joining us, if you started fasting yesterday and today, 24 hours later, congratulations on completing a 24-hour fast. That is tremendous. As you know, this is one of the things that I recommend for patients that and clients that they do a 24-hour fast once a week. Hey Steve, how you doing? Good seeing you out there. It's part of the health action plan that we do. Fasting is an amazing way to right your metabolism, improve your insulin resistance, do fat burning, retrain your palate, so on and so forth. There's so many benefits that we get from fasting, and I am actually surprised that we don't talk about it more. Hey Cornelia, how are you? Steve says he's 41 hours. Wow, come on, yeah. Hand clap for Steve for 41 hours into this week's fast. So if you started with us yesterday and you are now completing your 24-hour fast, kudos to you. I'm so proud of you. You can't imagine what benefits you are getting. You will see as you are doing the fast. One of the points, let me go through and we'll come back to that point. If you are starting today, right? If you said, hey, I'm going to do a 24-hour fast. I know you're doing a 72-hour, which is what I'm doing, and I'm going to join you on your second day. Well, this is the beginning of your 24-hour fast. We will come back tomorrow and we will conclude your fast. So kudos to you. Jump in there, get started. Hey, Bowie, how are you? Get started today. Once again, the benefits are innumerous, right? We could start talking and we would probably still be talking sometime next year about fasting and the benefits. Okay, so if you're starting today, good for you. Congratulations. Let's do it. Let's do it. If you are waiting till tomorrow, my hat's off to you as well. But remember, if you can do it today, that's great. Somebody said, don't put off for tomorrow what you can do today. I forgot who said that, but somebody said it at some point. And if you've been following us in our strength strategy and mindset series, you probably heard me say earlier in the series that we were putting together I think we started with a 2-minute circuit and then a 5-minute circuit. And any habit, anything you can do that that you can do in 2 minutes, you want to do it. Okay, so if you can fast, if you have the time right now, you can do it. Now, as I say that, I want to be sure that you understand also there are some things that you want to do to prepare for fasting. And so if you're not quite ready, that's okay. But don't delay, don't delay, don't delay. All right. So what I started saying earlier when I was talking about the people who are completing their fast today and those who are getting ready to go into their fast is that the community that you are in, the community that you will have around you, the things that you've put around you to get through this fast that's amazing. So we get the metabolic benefits, right? So righting the metabolism, improving our insulin sensitivity and all those things. But there is tremendous emotional, mental, and psychological, social benefits that come from fasting as well. And as you see, we've got some of our community members that are out there that are talking about their successes. So Steve said he had some rehab this morning. Hey, Steve, hope everything is going well. So he said, thank you both. I just had end of school lunch with my daughter, but I'm looking in for the summer now. Locking in for the summer, Bowie. Okay, awesome, awesome. And so one of the things to continue talking about always, and I always like when our community members are jumping in and telling us about what's going on in their personal lives, because it really is a it really is an indication of what happens in our lives. So often people will talk about fasting as though, well, it's this thing that I'm going to do, right? I'm going to fast next month or next week or sometime I'm going to start fasting. And the way I position fasting and actually the health action plan that we talk about is I want to position this not as a special event that we're going to be doing. Not that, okay, in June we're going to start this new process, but I want this health action plan to be a normal course of your life. Sometimes people will say to me, oh, you're going on vacation. Are you going to eat are you going to eat like you eat at home, or are you going to do such and such? And what I want us to begin working into our routine, into our existence, is that the health action plan is our life. It is the way we eat. And when we don't eat like this, when we don't fast, when we don't exercise, when we don't move, when we don't rest, that is the exception. You see? So this is the norm, and when we are not on this, that is the exception. I think what we've done is we've done the opposite. Say, okay, I'm going to eat like that all the time, and okay, this next 3 months, I'm going to buckle down and I'm going to do what I need to do. Well, I don't want that to be the case, right? So I want this to be be the thing that you do, and anything that we do other than this is the abnormality. Having said that, one of the conversations that I've been having recently with people is just kind of the idea that when we are not eating, quote unquote, on plan, when we're not eating on plan, you have not failed. You have not done something wrong. The only way you fail or you do something wrong is if that thing that happened, that event, causes you to go into yourself and become so depressed that you lose sight of the fact that you are growing and that you're changing. Um, this is attributed. I think it was he who said that. I'm not quite sure, but it said, "I never fail. I don't fail. I only learn, succeed." So I don't fail, but I either learn or I succeed. So the things that I do when we're talking about our health action plan, for those of you who are fasting right now, you may decide, hey, I'm going to fast for 48. Like Steve is 41 hours. I'm going to fast for 41 hours, and at hour 39, something happens and you eat. Or you said, I'm going to, and Bowie just said that she got her 10,000 steps. Hey, kudos. Um, and something happens and you don't get 10,000 steps for this day, that is not a failure, right? The question then becomes, okay, what happened? Because when you ask that question, what happened? The natural tendency now is, okay, well, how do I fix it? What do I have to do to ensure that I'm getting the benefit? But if I see that as a failure, if I'm like, man, hit for my 41 hours, or man, day that I didn't make my 10,000 steps, what a bad person I am, the negative talk that we have, then that sets us up actually for further problems. Because how do we fix that? How do we fix that feeling? What do you think, right? So in our experience, in our community, in the people that we are around, and why we're doing this is that we understand that there are certain behaviors that we take on, or certain behaviors that we go through, typically with food, that then sets us up into even more difficulty, even more challenges. And so, and it's not everything is pie in the sky. That's not what I'm talking about. But we want to make sure that we are thinking about ourselves, thinking about the things that we're doing in the right way. Because if we do that, then when things happen, we're able to see them in perspective. one of the conversations I'm going to be having this weekend, and I'm doing a program down in Birmingham for a group of men. But one of the things that we often find is that our self-talk, the words that we tell each other, or the things that we allow people to get us to believe, are the things that derail us. Hmm. Right? So often it is the perception that comes, the meaning that we give to things, that then pushes us in a direction one way or the other, and that is what causes us the problem. One of the conversations that I have with people all the time is that they say, "Oh, my blood sugar is high because I've been eating such and such, or my weight is up because I've been eating such and such." And I often say, "Well, no, that's not the reason." And I say it. I said, "That's not the reason. The reason your blood sugars are high, the reason the weight has gone up, is because you ate the thing and you didn't do anything about it." Right? Because we know blood sugars are going to go up. We know weight's going to go up. But what are we doing as a result of that knowledge? How do we mitigate that? And that's where we often lose the mark. Not the fact that you, quote unquote, got off the reservation, or you fell off the track, or whatever the words we use. That's not it. It's that we stayed off the track. Right? We went into ourselves, we allowed that situation, that thing, to push us in a direction that then derails our entire process. So what we want to do as we're walking through this fast, and that's why fasting is such a fascinating tool. And you heard me say earlier, we're getting the benefits. When you fast, your blood sugar is going to go down. Your insulin resistance is going to improve. Your weight's going to get better. All of that, we know that. But the other part, or other parts of that, is that our thought process, our emotions, and our problem solving get better when we fast. I'm going to pause there because I want you to think about that. And you're like, well, how does that happen, right? Well, it happens because for most of us, food is a safety net. It is, it is, it is, it is. It's a safety net. It is the thing that we go to. It's that friend that you can always rely on. It's that, let me push this back a little bit. It's that thing that always seems to be there, that always allows you to do what you want, to say what you want, and it comforts us. So food is that thing. And so when we are not eating, then we have to deal with those emotions. We've got to problem solve. We got to figure it out for ourselves because we don't have the food anymore to do for us, to take on those features for us. Okay. All right. So at 24 hours, a little over 24 hours, like I said, into this week's fast, I'm excited, feeling good. We'll do our check-in tonight at 9 p.m. Central, right here on Dwain Woode, MD. So if you've done your fast, this is your 24 hours, kudos to you. Drop that in the comments. You can drop it today while we're doing this. You can come on the show tonight and drop that and let us know what's going on. If you have started your fast now and you are 24 hours going to be tomorrow, then kudos to you. Glad that you've come along and that you're walking this path with us. The benefits you're going to get are going to be amazing. And then if you are going to be doing our fast tomorrow, as we get into the third day of our fast, I want you to know that I'm thinking about you. Make sure that you're preparing. Make sure you're getting good rest. Make sure you're getting good hydration. All of those benefits. As a matter of fact, if this is your first time fasting, I would recommend going back and watching our episode on the complete review of fasting that we did last Friday. As a matter of fact, we do it every Friday. So just catch one of those episodes on fasting and how to prepare, how to get through the fast, how to break the fast. That will help you be successful. And if you're doing one of the extended fasts, like I saw one of our community members there, Steve said that he was 41 hours. Man, my hat's off to you. And we're doing this. We're doing this together as a community for everyone, right? Whether you're 16 to 8, 12 and 12, alternate day fasting, 5 and 2, 24, 36, 48, 70, whatever number of hours that you're in or that you're fasting, this community is a great place to be, and the community helps us make it through all of those things in the right way, because community supports us, community encourages us, community helps us problem solve, it helps us troubleshoot. All of those things are amazing parts of the community, not to mention, like I said, all of the benefits that we get from the metabolism, the writing the metabolism, the emotional, the social, the relational issues, or benefits that we get, all amazing, all amazing. All right, so when we do our check-in tonight, we're going to be actually 33 hours, I believe. Yep, because if it's 33 hours into this fast for this week, and right now doing pretty good. I still have. Let me say it. I still have those chocolates in the refrigerator, in the freezer. Boy, I did not get rid of them. I did not send them to my son's school. This is his last week, so I probably need to do that. Okay, but we'll talk. We'll talk about that. And this week we are into our fourth pillar of the health action plan, and that's balanced bite. So we're going to be talking about how do we incorporate that into our into our eating windows, and which will have implications into our fasting window. Okay, Anthony, hey man, it's a good afternoon, everyone. Hey, thanks for coming through. Just talking about fasting. We are now a little over 24 hours into this week's fast, and heading into our 72-hour fast as we move through the week. As I was saying, we've introduced the fourth pillar of our health action plan, which is balanced bites, the way we eat. Remember, we're fueling our body with the appropriate things, and everything we put in our mouth is sending a signal to our body. Okay, so it's not just the calories, but there are signals that each of the foods that we eat send to the body, and those are where things can become derailed, right? So dysfunctional metabolism is the culprit. I see that over there. Bowie said I'm 13 minutes in. I love it. Awesome. And Anthony said that he hasn't fasted yet. Hey, Anthony, we're here, man. So when you're ready, it is a fascinating thing. It's an amazing process. Go back and watch, as I was mentioning earlier, before you got on, go back and watch one of our fasting reviews where we do a complete review of fasting. And remember, fasting, many of us are actually on the cusp of fasting, because a lot of people, they sleep for 8 hours, let's say 7, 8 hours. They sleep for 7 hours, and a lot of people don't eat breakfast. So if you go to sleep, say you ate your last meal at 6 o'clock, and you go to sleep at, 9, 10 o'clock at night, and you sleep from 10, right? So that's 2 hours plus 4 hours. So you get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. That's 6, 7 hours, right? And so you're into that postprandial period. Most people don't eat breakfast, and so they don't eat until lunch. So you're already, that's 7 hours and another 6 hours, so 12. So we're already 13 hours, most of us, into a non-eating window anyway, right? We don't call it fasting, right? Anyway, in our circles, right? We're gonna say, okay, you're not fasting. Fasting is a deliberate thing that you're doing, but you're already in the mode already. And so, say you do a 16-8, all you would do is say you stop eating at 6 o'clock, then 6 in the evening, and then the 12 hours would be 6 o'clock in the morning. And so if I add another 4 hours to that, that brings me to 10 o'clock, right? Did I get that right? 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, that's 10 o'clock. So if you start eating at 10 o'clock every morning, then you're already doing a 16-8. And from there, getting into a 24-hour period is simpler. But what sometimes happens is because we think of the fast as, oh my goodness, I can't eat for 24 hours, then it becomes a bigger task. But if we chunk it up, break it up, and as we've said in the review, then extend or shrink your eating window smaller and smaller. So in this case, if you say you're going to eat, appreciate these conversations you give us. I think ask our PCP, but are refusing. Well, I'm glad that I could. I'm glad to be a part of the journey and to have these conversations. Bowie, thank you for saying that. So back to so Anthony. So yeah, so we're shrinking our eating window. So in that case, in the situation that I gave, if you stop eating at 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, that would be 12 hours. Then 10 o'clock would be 16 hours. And so we're shooting to get to a 24-hour period once a week. So we would do that until we're comfortable with it. And then we just start adding, right? So instead of eating at 10 o'clock, now you eat at 12 o'clock. Now you've gone from a 16:8 to an 18:6. Okay. And then, okay, great, I can do that now. Now I'm going to go to maybe 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. And now I've gone from a 18:6 to a 24. And notice what I'm doing is I'm extending that time gradually, and I'm doing it in a way that allows me the ability to kind of look at how I'm doing, feel how I'm doing, and those check-ins that we do, right? How I'm doing physically, mentally, and emotionally. You're doing those check-ins and making sure that you are physically, mentally, and emotionally handling this well, and that you're putting the things in place: rest, managing stress, making sure you're hydrated, cleaning out your environment, all those things that we talk about in the domains of health, making sure those things are in place, and then you get to the 24. So it is a process. Several years ago, we did it was called Sugar Busters. It was a Sugar Busters, and I think I mentioned to someone in the community that I think I'm going to make that available to those people who are in our group. Steve was going to do a 36, but I felt so good. He wasn't going to do a 36, but he extended it. So hey, that's cool, Steve. Right. So one of the points that I was making in that series that we did was a challenge, was that it is a gradual process. So you don't wake up one morning and say, okay, this is it, we're done. We want to kind of get into that process as judiciously as possible, but we want to get into the process so we set ourselves up for success. On our strength, strategy, and mindset, this week we're talking about building to last, right? So the things that we're doing, because we can all do things, right, for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, right? As a matter of fact, many of us have done, whether it's weight management or blood sugar management, we've done challenges, we've done whatever it is, right? So you do a Daniel fast, you've done, a keto, you've done Mediterranean, and many of us have done that, and we've done it for whatever that period was. But here, we're not talking about doing that. We're not talking about, okay, this is a period of my life where I'm gonna be healthy, and then when that's done, then I get back to normal. No, we're saying, how do we incorporate, how do we build this into our life? How does this become the person we are? How do we make that happen? And that happens as we are mindful of the fact that we've got to be putting things in place that help this to be the thing. Like, people ask me all the time, they say, hey, you've been fasting for 72 hours once a week, and now we've been doing this because we started it before we started the show. So I've been doing intermittent fasting for years. The 72-hour fasting has been almost 2 years now. They say, hey, you do a 72-hour fast every week, and you've been doing this now for 2 years. Now, some weeks, as you guys know, we've done like a 41. One week I did a 96. One week I did a 106. How long are you going to do this? Well, I fast for lots of different reasons, right? So I fast because metabolically it is beneficial to me. So I am not saying, okay, I'm going to fast for 2 years, and then after 2 years, then I'll figure out what I'm going to do. My goal is fasting. Once a week, I'm going to fast. Now, we may adjust how long we fast. But the fasting itself is not an optional thing for me. It is just a part of what I do. Even when I travel, right? When we go with our family, I shift my days around so that I get my fasting in. I was in Jamaica for my birthday trip, right? And we got there, and I think I ended the fast that Friday. We got there Saturday. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday was my fasting day. And I did all the things I wanted to do prior to that, I mean, in terms of making sure I was getting some of the culture, some of the foods. Yeah. And then when it was time for me to fast, I started fasting. The guys were like, you're in Jamaica and you're gonna fast? It's like it's not I'm in Jamaica and I'm gonna fast. This is what I do. So whether I'm in Jamaica, when we went to Paris, we went to London, we were there for a week, 10 days, 10 days, 7 to 10 days, whatever it was, right? So I enjoyed the culture, I enjoyed the food, I enjoyed the other things, but when it was time for me to get fast, I fasted, right? I did one meal a day while I was there for most of the days. There were a couple of days where our schedule got off, and so we ate late, and then we started eating again earlier in the day. So for that day, it turned out, if you count the time, it was really not one meal a day. It was like 2 meals or something. But that's my point. Is we want to get into the habit. We want to get into the mindset that the things that we're doing are the things that we do for our health. It is our standard. It is what we do. This is how we roll. This is how we do it. I was talking to someone today in the office, and I always ask for people who are having success in whatever area. I say to them, okay, what are you doing? How did this happen? What's your secret? And often people think I'm just making conversation, but no, I want to know, because there are ways that I explain things that are in the way I think. Okay, the way I think and the way I explain things are not the way everybody thinks and the way they interpret things. So I'm always looking to see, okay, is there a different way? Is there something else that I could say that help people understand this better? So when I'm talking to people, when I'm talking to you, when I ask you, hey, what's your secret? It is because I am putting into my thought bank, I'm putting into my toolbox different concepts on how people interpret and understand what we're doing, so that I can explain it to someone in a different way. It's kind of like when you get up to give a talk, you can go directly into the talk, but half the people, 3/4 of the people in the room are not going to be following you. So what you want to do is you want to address the people in the room to get them to see themselves in the thing that you're talking about, so that when you go down now and you start explaining, they're like, oh yeah, that's right, he said this was like me. So when you hear me say, right, hey, this is Dr. Woode, and I'm talking to adults with type 2 diabetes who want to reverse their diabetes, right? Notice I don't stop there. I quickly say, and for people who are interested in writing the metabolism. That's people who have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, people who have fatty liver, people who have polycystic ovarian syndrome, struggling with obesity, struggling with, right? So I go through that list, because it is not just that one person, right? So you have to see yourself in the space that we're talking about. And this is the big one. This is a big one. And this concept, I've got to develop this concept a little bit more. And I got this from somebody, right? But I'm going to expand it. Someone gave me this concept. And the concept is this, that your journey, right? So these are my words that I put to it. The journey that you're on, as flawed as it is, as disrupted as it is, as bumpy as it is, as imperfect as you think it is, your journey is the answer to somebody else's question. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So even as you are, oh man, I can't make it to 24 hours. Oh man, I can't. When we talk about balanced bites, I keep eating Cadbury, right? Is it my Cadbury? I can't tell you the number of people, right, who've come to me and said, man, I love Cadbury. That's one of my favorite. And I can't tell anybody that I like Cadbury, because everybody tells me that I'm being a bad whatever. Hey, what? I got I got some Cadbury in my freezer right now. Okay, so that idea, I think I've got to develop that some more because it is a powerful it's a powerful concept for you to have in your pocket when you are struggling and say, man, I'm such a bad person. I can't do this. You know, my health is so bad and I can't get over this. Look at what I'm doing. Whatever the things are that we tell ourselves, understanding that your journey is the answer to somebody else's question is important. And here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. Your journey, as imperfect as it is the answer to your question. And the question is, can I do it? And the answer is yes. I'm doing it ugly. I'm doing it 2 steps forward, 1 step back. I'm doing it imperfectly. I'm doing it sometimes just hanging on with a fingertip. But guess what? Here I am. I'm doing it. And that gives you the benefit of power and the idea that you are in control of this thing is a powerful concept to have. So that's what fasting does all of that. Fasting does all of that. And I'm so excited that we are, like I said, a little over 24 hours now into this week's fast, moving into 72 hours. So kudos to those of you who ended the fast right now at 24 hours. Kudos to those of you who were started, like Bowie started. She's 13 minutes in. Kudos to those of you who are going to join us tomorrow as we round out the fast with our last day. Join us tonight as we do our check-in at 9 p.m. Central on the show. Join us tomorrow as we do our check-in as well. We're going to have some scheduling things coming up over the next couple of weeks because we've got recitals, which are going to push our time back a little bit, but we'll let you know all of those as they come up. So checking in tonight, checking in tomorrow. On Friday, we'll be checking in as we do our 24-hour ending of the fast. We'll be breaking the fast, and you come on and see what we're going to eat. If you have some suggestions, go ahead and drop those in the chat. Let us know tonight as you do come on to the check-in. If you've not joined our community, I recommend that you do it. It's an amazing community. We're growing, we're getting bigger, and we are supporting each other. It's an amazing space to be in. I'm always glad when I'm with you. Always glad to be in this space. This is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, and go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted. And our limitless living says that we're not allowing anything from outside or anything from inside to prevent us from doing what we need to do. We're presenting our best self, our best health, and our best plans for our lives. So go ahead, live a limitless life, and we'll see you in these digital streets. All right, see you everybody. Bye-bye.